Thank you for being here today. Annyeonghaseyo to everyone, especially those that are gathered in Seoul Station. We salute you, and we're here fighting for you. What we're dealing with is a national security issue for South Korea, but also for America and every other country out there. We are dealing with an international election fraud cartel. 5 years ago, just down the hallway, I led a cybersecurity forum where I was asked to talk about the security of election machines. Little did I know 5 years later, I would be standing at this podium telling everyone this is an international election fraud cartel. Back then, I had members of the election machine companies on the panel, and they were very assiduous in editing the pre-remarks. And I thought something was up, and yes, it was. We are dealing with an international cartel. And this is, we also have to point our friends in the Philippines. Last year, a huge event that is connected to South Korea and America. A senior representative of the Philippine government complained directly to the Attorney General at that time, Merrick Garland, that a U.S. election machine company was bribing officials in the Philippines to use their machine. Well, that same president of that company, I will not mention the name, has been indicted. It is in trial right now. But that same company that was bribing officials in the Philippines, hardware and software components from that company are in the election apparatus of South Korea. This is an international cartel. You went through it. We've gone through it. Brazil's gone through it. And it's also, as the ambassador pointed out, partly funded by U.S. aid, both to AWEB and the National Election Commission. This gives inroads, if the current administration, American administration, decides, this gives legal and intelligence inroads to begin formal investigation. What is going on at the National Election Commission and AWEB, especially when parts of it looks like it was funded by U.S. taxpayers' monies? So this is absolutely outrageous and must be looked into. This is not to be trusted. We're also, so this is very important, and as the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, has shown fraudulent IDs produced by China in South Korea, in Hong Kong, in the United Kingdom, were brought to the United States to create fraudulent identities, fraudulent ballots. Again, an international election cartel. And there's actually a senior member of the Chinese Communist Party we've identified, 왕후닝이. Now, he is the chairperson of the Chinese People's Consultative Conference. It looks like he is very likely the director of this fraud that occurred in South Korea, controlled directly by the Chinese Communist Party. So we actually have a name and a personality who is actually directing an oversight of this fraud. So this is a danger. This is a danger to the world. The National Intelligence Service of South Korea showed the absolute untrustworthiness and vulnerabilities of the National Election Commission. What has been done to correct that? Nothing. Nothing has been done. This is absolutely outrageous. The intelligence service has shown this is absolutely fraudulent. And it really begs the question, there always has to be an independent verification and validation of any government entity in a constitutional republic, and Korea is a constitutional republic. Where is the independent verification and validation of the National Election Commission? There is none. Apparently, the National Election Commission is the government of South Korea. They're unassailable, can't be questioned. No independent verification and validation. This is not what a constitutional republic behaves like. This is wrong. This is wrong. So this is an international cartel. Every one of the United States is dealing with this. And again, the FBI director has opened up investigations. We also have a weaponization of government. investigation going on, led by Ed Martin at the Department of Justice. All of these issues in South Korea directly are affecting the United States also. So there is an interest by the United States in what's going on in South Korea. In South Korea, again, we have a bond forged in blood, fire, and steel. South Korea is our closest friend and ally, closer than no one else. They are the closest. We can't let South Korea fall prey to this international election cartel. And what is needed is transparency and auditability. And that's not what's going on. So we have grave concern of what's going on. The election outcome, as was shown statistically, absolutely identical early voting patterns, and early voting that just outvoted day of voting. These are exactly the issues the United States has gone through. So we have to have a trusted process. That's the foundation of a constitutional republic. And it is, unfortunately, the foundations of the Republic of South Korea have been absolutely deteriorated and rotted, and they cannot be trusted. This is a seminal moment in the history of the Republic of Korea, and we must get this correct. Thank you very much. And for everybody in Seoul, fighting!
Colonel Mills has told us that this is a seminal moment. It's a seminal moment for the people in Korea, but as he pointed out, this is not just a Korea issue. This is an issue for the United States, and it's an issue for many nations around the world. This is our seminal moment.